Good morning, dear committee members. The Alliance for Responsible Mining and Resolve propose an interim revision of the Craft Code between April 2023 and February 2024. An interim revision process within a full revision cycle implies non-substantive changes, and therefore it will include minor change, technical amendments and clarifications without modification of scope or intent, which is what explains the numeral 2.1. Why the revision? Last year, the Craft Code underwent an OECD due diligence guidance alignment assessment as a part of a process of recognition of the standard as an upstream mechanism by the Responsible Minerals Initiative, RMI. This exercise produced a series of recommendations that are being addressed with this interim revision. So what are the main objectives of this process? Number one is to include the recommendations from this independent third-party alignment assessment. And number two, to enable easier integration of the Craft Code within industry initiative systems and to facilitate companies engaging with ASM in their compliance with regulations based on the OECD due diligence guidance. In the first moment, the standards team focused on closing small gaps in the main scope of the standard, comprising of Volume 1, Introduction, and Volume 2, Artisanal and Small-Scale Mineral Producer, and optionally Minerals Processors and Aggregators requirements. The changes mostly included precisions of text to correspond with specific wording of concepts in the text of the OECD guidance and clarifications in regards to the responsibilities of ASM in the due diligence process. An additional requirement was added as a part of this process. We will soon publish these documents as Craft 2.1 release candidate on www.craftmines.org to receive public feedback and to maintain the recognition of the main scope of the Craft Code by the RMI. We welcome your comments on the Craft Volume 1 and 2 release candidate. In the second phase, the team will adjust the Craft Volume 3, the Craft schemes, to specify the guidance on how the Craft Code for ASM can be used by different actors. For this milestone, we will use the recommendations of the independent assessment to clarify how the Craft Code can be implemented by both supply chain initiatives and individual companies for the purpose of facilitating the due diligence with ASM in a way that is fully aligned with the OECD guidance. The standard revision process will follow the standard setting procedures of the Alliance for Responsible Mining based on the ISIL's Code of Good Practice for Setting Social and Environmental Standards version 6.0. We hope that the modifications towards full alignment will give the Craft Code even more legitimacy to be widely applied as a tool for engagement with the ASM and the meaningful and participatory due diligence exercise. What is the role of the Craft Code Committee? We are delighted to confirm that we have activated the Craft Code Committee for this interim revision process. It is composed of 25 stakeholders from the mineral supply chain, including ASM members, industry initiatives and standards organizations, thematic experts and civil society participants, as well as representatives of companies. In this interim process, we merged what used to be an advisory committee and the technical committee. Thank you all Craft Code committee members for accepting to be part of this exciting process. In the next few days, we will publish the full members list on the website. Now, what is expected from the standard committee members and other stakeholders? We expect to organize 2 meetings with the standard committee during the second semester of 2023 to discuss the technical changes in the Craft volumes and receive strategic recommendations. Additionally, we anticipate convening working groups with stakeholders that have already been implementing the code. Together, we need to ensure the Craft Code changes include practicalities and lessons learned from the Craft practitioners or users. The long-term ambition is that the Craft 2.1 helps to bridge the gap between upstream implementation and downstream due diligence to mainstream and scale up the positive impacts for the most vulnerable actor of the mineral supply chains. We will be communicating the process of the interim revision process on our website. www.responsibleminds.org and www.craftminds.org. Thank you very much and have a good day.